get to the buzz which it has created. Definitely, it has created very high interest, primarily because in less than 5 days, it reached 1 million users. So that's a very exponential way of subscription which can happen, and no other company at this moment. I think Instagram was the one which was the one which had its best thing till now, best subscription rate, which was around 1 month or so, if I'm not wrong. But this took only 5 days, so that's the high interest which it has created. And definitely, everywhere you go, there is huge social media content around it, and I mean, it seems to be solving each and every problem which exists right now for everyone. And there is huge wow factor whoever uses it for the first time. The reason mainly being the data it has been fed into, and a little bit of fine tuning which has led to cohesively answering the questions which people are asking, or actually even if it is unable to answer the question also, it is trying to get more details before it answers the question. So because of this, there's a huge wow factor, because any question you ask, it has some answer for you. And there is also a fear which has spread over about how jobs can be eliminated because of this, and many more about how it can impact actually the world, even maybe negatively also. And what's my take? Maybe before I end this talk, I'll just glance at that. And now let's, with this buzz happening, let's actually look at some of the little demo which I have done with ChatGPT to give a perspective to you. So this is the kind of interface which you will land into once you log yourself in, register yourself. So let me start with something which I asked regarding this particular masterclass itself. So as Suman Garon, when we were discussing about this, and he said, okay, let's do a masterclass. So then I thought, let me use the same question and see what ChatGPT has to say for. And this is the question which this is the conversation which I had with it. I have to do a masterclass on ChatGPT, which would span for approximately 30 minutes, create script for the masterclass. So this is the answer which it came up with, which appears very, very apt, right? It even came up with timelines. So what are the different aspects which I can look into? But this is not sufficient for me to do the masterclass. So in order to solve this problem, I went further and I asked it, give me details about background. So when I said background, I am talking about this background here. So that's the prompt I gave. So it automatically understood I am talking about that particular background, and it started giving the script for that particular aspect of it. And this script is really good. I can use it directly right away about the background part of it. And then I had some more questions because I was not actually very impressed with the output of this. I felt maybe I was looking at some other information as well. So I asked about submodel which this GPT-3 is being used. So because I wanted to know how number of parameters this model is using. So when I went inside it, this answer again didn't really impress me because I didn't get the actual answer which I was needing. If you see here. The wow factor at this moment for everyone, let me have a little bit, add a pinch of salt to this. So right at this moment, the wow factor is coming with this particular reply which it is giving top up. Yeah, this is a wonderful reply, and even the second reply to some extent. But if you dwell more, and if the specific case becomes specific, then definitely I think little more prompting is needed, little more asking around is needed. So that's how for this particular task it went through. For the other, there was another use case for me on which I was working on. So I just asked it something like this: help me curate 12 questions with options to choose from. The topic is geopolitical affairs, and I even asked it to grade it into 3 different levels. And why I asked this particular question to ChatGPT-3 is I was checking this performance with the actual GPT 3.5, based on which it is retuned. So I asked the same question to both, and this particular answer which this came up with, it actually graded it into tough, medium, and easy, and it gave me the questions. but then it didn't actually give me the options here. So what did I do? I asked it to give me the options as well. So it started giving all the options. Then once the options were given, I wanted it to be a digitally driven. So I asked it, so let's come to the coding part of it here. So I asked it to generate a Python code to create web interface for me, for the above questions. And then he started creating the web interface code. But then the number of questions were around, it had a lot of text in it. So this model actually couldn't, with the character limit which it has, it didn't create the entire code for me. So what I did, I asked it to create only for 3 questions. It created the code. Did it really work? Not actually the way it is. I had to do a little change here and there, and then it started working. So it came up with other options as well. So if you see here, the second code which it gave me here, instead of putting all the questions in the code itself, it is asking me create an index file somewhere else, put all the questions there, and then just link that file to here. So the code becomes simple. So it even recommended this to me. So this is till this extent that this particular GPT at the demo level is. So if you see, however, for this particular task, when I use the actual GPT, it actually performed much better. Let me put it that way. When I asked it to create these questions needed, it actually created a better set of questions and even options in the single prompt itself. However, the actual GPT-3, the actual GPT-3, when I tried the actual GPT-3 to create this particular aspect of it, the 30 minutes masterclass version of it, the responses which I got were not very good when compared to ChatGPT. ChatGPT was doing much better job than GPT, the core GPT. So here I had to prompt it much more. So at the end of it, what I wanted to, through this demo, even though it's very simple and then limited in its oversight, what I want to mention here